one of the main questions that I have many times when I got into the stage, or when some young animators are getting into this stage, is about how to find ideas, or how to think about breakdowns, how to know where the character should go from, or what is the way that the character wants to have to go from going from A to B. Are we doing a curve to the left? Are we doing a curve to the right? Are we doing like an anticipation, an overshoot? Sometimes when I'm teaching online and live, they ask me, what should I do? Should I do an overshoot? Should I do an overshoot or an anticipation? Not only that, sometimes when I do a shot, some animators ask me, how do you do that? How do you come up with that idea of going that way or doing that? And I always answer the same: use your body. Keep using your body as reference. It's not that I envision it or that I imagine. I don't think that animation is something that we may imagine it many times, and some animators, they are very good at imagining it, but at least it's not my best way of working. I always act everything myself, even if it's a very small part of an animation. Like if the character is just doing something like that, I act it out myself and I see how everything is done. Even maybe just a small section. Maybe I just want to go and study these maybe movements so I can realize how are those shoulders working, right? So when it comes to thinking and planning your breakdowns, or when you have to really actually decide how are the breakdowns, how is the character going from A to B, if you didn't have done it yet, maybe in this stage, because in previous stages we may have added some breakdowns here and there, and at least in the stage number 2 and with the key poses. Here's the one where definitely everything has to be working down to all the breakdowns and all those in-betweens, right? So when you are going from A to B, just act it out. Just act out that A to B and see where is your body going. And you're gonna get so many ideas just by auto-observing and repeating those movements. You're gonna get so many ideas, really. So for example, I don't know, everything, all the shot, I continuously keep, as I said before, I let the shot to affect me again, because as the shot is being advancing, or is being progressing, this has changed a lot if we compare it with what we got in the video reference. But I don't care anymore about that, okay? What I care is about what is the stage that I have, right? So I let my shot to affect me. So I just, whatever the section that I'm working on, and I'm trying to find, if I'm not clear about how the breakdown should be, I just get that tiny small section, maybe 20 frames or something like that, and I repeat it myself, and I look at and then I use that in order to, shoulders are going that way, elbows are going that way. Maybe you decide to push some of the things, and we already talked about pushing the lines on the energies and all that. You can do exactly the same system here, right? In order to find interest in breakdowns. So I've been acting out or reacting out the reinvented version of my shot that is constantly changing, more or less till this stage, continuously. I never stop acting it out and using my body as a reference, because that's the answer for everything. All the ideas, how everything should go, should come, ideas for squash and stretch, for anticipations, for overshoots, for ease-ins, for ease-outs. It's in your body. As we were saying when we were talking about the 9 old men and the 12 principles of animation. We use the 12 principles of animation not as a techniques, but as also, or mainly as a way to read the reality, because everything is in us and everything is in real life, because those 12 principles, they come from somewhere, they come from the real life, right? So we keep using ourselves, we keep using our bodies, or the body of others, whoever is helping us, in order to get those decisions of how all those breakdowns, and not only those breakdowns, as I was saying, all the tips and techniques that you may want to use. So for example, in this part here, when the character is saying, so how to do impressions, from previous version I remember that I was going down how to do impressions a little before, but I just stopped by a little bit and knocked it out again. So how to do impressions, and I think we already talked about this. How do I realize that the how is happening meanwhile I'm still here, and not only I'm still here, I started to realize about this thing that I really like from my fingers, right? This detail. How to get impressions. How to get impressions. So basically, that idea with the fingers that we're starting to mark here. So, how to do impressions. That kind of drag, if you look at the fingers here, when he starts saying how to get impressions, this dragging, this movement. That's something that I acted on myself and repeated and repeated and repeated in order to realize about it. And it's like, oh wow, that's a very nice breakdown. That's a very nice way of adding not just a breakdown, of adding that secondary timing. That's a secondary timing because the main timing is how to get an impression. Boom, boom. But as I do that, boom, 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 right?
So,
boom, boom, boom,
how to do impressions.
boom, boom. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't memorize it, but you get the idea. On top of that main timing that I have, I work with that. So again, body. Body is the one that is telling me those ideas. It's not that it shows up in my mind like, oh, no. The whole shot is like that. Every time that I took a decision of where to go, how to do that is because I acted out myself. For example, you're gonna see a big change probably that you already have seen it in this version, is that now we're doing two legs. We're using the two legs in order to do this. This first idea that I had is being evolved, right? And that's because when I do it myself, I feel like I want to twist both my legs, and my whole body is the one that is telling me, just get the whole thing. And this is a good example of how from something that is very realistic and probably is very more subtle, I'm pushing the lines. I'm still pushing the energies of it. By also observing your body is when you take the decisions of when should be something be fast, when something should be slow. It's not that I decide randomly when something should be fast or less. I know that I talk a lot about finding the harmony in between dynamic movements or holding poses. And sometimes I put my mind on it and try to find it, but usually the body is kind of like wise in a way to try to stay calm and save energy when necessary, and be fast when it has to be fast, right? So, for example, in order to get timing and in order to understand when something should be slow and more detailed or more like subtle, my body is telling me. So that's something, for example, in this part is very clear. We go from very fast movement.
The first thing I do is take Colin inside.
To this one, when he says, Colin inside of me, right? He says, take
Colin inside of me.
Right? First is very fast because that's what I do. Take Colin inside of me. And that's very naturally, my body's already starting to give me that balance in between when something is fast and when something is slow. But maybe I push it even more, right? Like that's why the take is fast. We even have a smear there. Take Colin inside of me. And that one we do it very slow. So watching your body is not always, or keep watching your body, keep doing it. Not just for breakdance techniques and all that, but also very importantly too, to decide your timing, to see when the timing feels slowly. And that's something that you also have to feel in your body. Okay, am I doing this fast? Am I applying like a lot of energy? To this one, I'm feeling that I'm doing like a lot of energy. Take, because he's thinking and the thought is coming very fast. So that's why it's take, the thinking is there, or the idea is there, coming inside of me, right? So he's doing it slowly. So in a very natural way, that harmony of timing and balancing between moving, whole, and dynamic poses comes out naturally. So yeah, keep using your body, keep using your own references, or your own body to applying and getting references and ideas. Even in this stage that is starting to be quite advanced.